Hello.
It should be on. All
Yeah.
right. Hold on, let me make sure. I'm watching the phone. I have my phone on right now to kind of see what's up. So I gotta see. All right, cool. All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Age of Men podcast. Welcome to another night of the podcast. Unfortunately, guys, we are missing Nick, and it's so unfortunate. He's very, very sick right now. And, I wish him well. God bless him. He might be in the chat. But, yeah, he's been very sick. He was sick on the last show as well, which is probably why he was a lot more, wasn't as Nicholas as he should been. So, but yeah, so God bless Nick. Sorry he can't be here, but I have my good friend Rosita on the show, and I got another friend who will be joining us very, very soon. So we appreciate you guys for tuning in. I am your host, Julius, on Today with Julius on YouTube and all social media platforms. You guys can follow me Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Gab, Rumble, all that good stuff, and even right here on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. So Rosita, if you want to introduce yourself, name, age, what you do, relationship status, if you want, it's up to you.
Hi, I'm Rosita of Earth to Rosita on YouTube and Instagram, and I also am a YouTuber, I guess, and I make a lot of different, like a lot of videos on different topics. And P.S. I'm single.
You
And
hear that, fellas?
I
She's
have a
single.
terrible sense of humor, and I like memes.
So there you go, guys. She's single. So go ahead and blow her Instagram up, DM her. She accepts all offers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So we got Nick in the chat. That's what's up. We got Sally here. What's up, Sally? We got Charlie in the house. What's up, Charlie? I know Charlie just dropped some new music. If you guys have a chance to go check that out. And we also again we got Nick in the house. Nick, man, hey man, I hope you get better, man. I'm sorry you're feeling, not well, but hopefully this passes over. Drink lots of water. Hit those push-ups if you can. All that good stuff, man. He says I'm late. It says you're late and buffering. Or somebody said you're late and buffering. I mean, I'm not buffering now. I'm watching. I'm watching on the phone. It's not buffering. It's all good. Nick says you both hold it down great. Appreciate you, Nick. He said, "Let's go, let's go." That's what's up. So, and again, what's up, Sally? So we appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you guys again. Like this video, share this video. Um, let's get into it. So I want to first talk to the chat real quick and just say that any questions you guys have on modern dating, do ask in the comments, and we will bring those comments on screen and answer those questions, have a conversation about it. So any question you guys have, just throw them all in the comments, and we appreciate that. So keep the show going. So the topic of today, which is something that I shared about a week ago, the topic of today is basically this woman who's on TikTok. I gotta get her name. Let me get her name real quick. I don't know if she has her name, but she's on TikTok. She goes by Marriage is Halal. I think that's Islam, I'm guessing. So she had this
Yeah.
video that kind of that went viral and was basically saying that that uh, wives should bring more women for their husbands. And so I thought that was very, very interesting to me. And when I shared that video on Instagram, there was a lot of comments that basically said, "Oh, she's crazy," or "She don't know what she's talking about. She's brainwashed. I would never do that. That's not real marriage. That's not real tradition." I thought that was just interesting to me to see people's feedback because of it. And so, um, my thoughts on it, on stuff like that. I mean, look, if that's what you want to do, it is what it is. It's not my thing, but if that works for you, then more power to you. I think it is what it is. So, let me get to her video in just a second. I'll show you guys that. Hold on, because it's like a gang of videos. I'm trying to find the one that actually went viral. She has another video like that, So I can look for that one and play that one for you guys. Let me see. Uh, okay, yeah. So I'll play this one right here.
Your husband more women if you're having marriage problems.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So the one that I share was a different one, but the one I'm about to show is similar, but she's just in a different outfit. So we'll go ahead and play that one right now.
Bring your husband more women if you're having marriage problems. If you notice your man looking at other women, bring him more women. In fact, if he's watching this video right now and you can hear me, that's your sign to bring your man more women. Cat's out the bag. He wants another wife. And listen here, sweetie, it has nothing to do with you. Your husband loves you and will want you forever. He just wants more women.
Interesting, 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 interesting. So I'm curious to. Whoops, let me get back on the screen. So I'm curious to know what you guys think about that. Like, what's for the chat out there? What do you guys think about that? Is she right? Is she wrong? What do you guys think? Should married women bring more wives to their husbands? And to the men who are married, is that something that you guys want? Is she tripping? Let me know in the comments, and then we'll bring you guys the comments on screen and talk about it. Rosita, I want to get your thoughts on that. For somebody who's single, do you see yourself getting married and bringing more wives to your husband?
No. Like what she is saying, what she's like advocating for is basically uh like a more professional, I guess prestigious looking way of doing polygamy. Like that's what she's
Interesting.
doing.
So is she wrong or is she right?
I mean, she's wrong because it doesn't work. There's going to be jealousy, there's going to be competitiveness, and there's going to be like those are falling into like the seven deadly sins, like envy and like lust and what do you
So
think about it?
well, okay. So let me dissect what you said. So you say it's wrong because there's going to be jealousy, envy, and it's the seven deadly sins. So you think it's wrong just based on that, or is there like a real reason why it's actually wrong? Because what if, mind you, it's not my thing, but what if there were a polygamous relationship that actually did work? Because think about it, right? I noticed how there was so much of people who responded, like women and some men who responded and would basically say, no, she's wrong, she's this, she's that, all the negatives. But you don't hear about like, well, what if there's relationships out there that actually do work? Why do people not speak on the ones that do work?
Okay, so if they work, how do you think they would work? Like what makes it successful?
So because I'm not in it, I can't give an answer, but my opinion would be a way that it can work. I can see is if the man knows what he wants, he tells the women up front what it is and how it's going to be, and if they're okay with that, it can work out. If there is a jealousy or something like that, the man can step in and just say, "Listen, you gotta kind of chill out. There's no need to be jealous. This is the way it is. Your role is this. Your role is that, and that's how it's going to be." So I think if the man lays it out how it's going to be, and the women follow behind that, it can work. Now, will there be that jealousy? Will there be that favoritism? Sure, of course. Why wouldn't there be? It's like having a lot of kids, and one of the kids is going to be the favorite one, or the one that gets babied the most, or the one that gets spoiled the most. So the other kids are going to get jealous. So it's the same thing with the women. And then there's going to be that one woman who gets jealous because he spends more time with her, or he got her a Gucci bag and she only got a gift card. So you may have that dynamic, but I think again, if the man lays it out and he knows how it's going to be, he knows what it's like and says what it is, and then dominates on that, I think it can work out just fine.
Okay, but why would a man need more than one woman when he can just do that with one woman? Isn't that kind of falling into the sin of greed?
I mean, maybe I'm not going to say you're wrong, But and again, not my thing. I want to stress it now. It's not my thing. But you say, why would a man need more than one woman? I mean, if you think about it, if you look at the divorce rate, right? The divorce rate alone in America, it's like what 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. So if a monogamous relationship did work, then why are the divorces at such a high rate?
Because of the culture and the feminism that was like implemented in the 70s or the 60s or whatever.
So okay, but okay, but even still, right? Even if the feminism, the culture, and things like that, even still, wouldn't you? I mean, as women claim to be strong and independent, so wouldn't they be able to overcome those obstacles, overcome those hurdles to be able to fix their relationships?
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I spaced out for while you were talking because I was looking at the comments. Sorry. Can you repeat
Well,
that? I have
yeah,
ADHD, guys. Just letting you know.
yeah. We'll bring the comment. Yeah, and I know because I see it. I see it. Somebody brought up why you got suspended from Twitter for hate speech. Yeah, yeah. I get that. We're not talking about that right now. That's the conversation you can. Hey, she said she was single. You can DM her about that. So
Yeah. DM me. Maybe we can have a video chat. Like I
yeah, there you
asked
go.
you.
Yeah, just don't catfish her. So but yeah. So basically, your question was essentially why do men need more than one woman? Again, not my thing. I'm not advocating for it. I'm just trying to look at both sides. You know, I could see why monogamous relationships would be a lot more better than having a promiscuous relationships because the monogamous is like it's you, especially if you follow the Bible. You know, it's God, Christ, man, woman, children. That's fine. That works out. If you do polygamous, it's man and multiple women. So then it becomes again, why do men need multiple women? I would just argue that again, my opinion, not a fact. My opinion would just be because maybe monogamous is not working. So then polygamous does because if it's one woman and then things go wrong with this one, he has the other chick to kind of go to. Now that sounds bad saying it like that, but I'm just saying that's the options that he can weigh. Where it's like, okay, this chick's role for this chick's role for that. So I can show them and I can show these women an equal amount of love to a degree to where they will
Mhm.
all feel special and not have to feel like, because what if a guy gives so much to one woman where it's too much for her, especially when she has kids with him? It's too much for her, like I got all these kids with him. I want me time and he's working all these hours and comes home and she's just nagging. He's like, I just got done working 16 hours and I come home and you're nagging me. Like, where's my sandwich? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? like she like the woman again, the man and women choose to get with each other, they choose to have kids, so it's both the responsibility. But if he's at work putting in the hours, that's the responsibility that he's taking on, if by going to work, putting in the hours, making the money so he can provide, buy the food, pay the lights, all that kind of stuff, buy the kids clothes, birthdays, all that kind of stuff. And she's at home nurturing, doing what she does, taking care of the kid. But it's so much for her because she's like, these kids are driving me nuts. I just want mommy time. Husband gets in and it's like, you gotta take care of Jonathan. Katie's acting a fool. He's like, what? I just got done working. So maybe having the second woman would be like, I could just go to her because she's cool right now. She's calm, and the wife needs her me time, right? So you can just go to the next chick and spend time with her while the wife gets her me time. I don't know. I'm just saying. Again,
I
only my
mean, like,
opinion, not condoning it.
do you mean to say that like if one wife would need like me time or whatever, the second wife, for example, would be taking care of would be
The
taking care of
kids.
the children? Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, I don't know if she
Why
was
not
taking
just
care
go
of.
for the why not just give the kids to the grandmother or something?
Sure, but if she's gonna take all her frustration now on the man, even though the kids are not there and they got their me time, she's like, "Ah, I'm just so stressed." And then,
Yeah,
you
but
know what I mean?
that's another thing that like I don't think that necessarily like justifies the whole idea of like multiple marriages. I think that that just shows that's like a character flaw. Like if a woman can't handle like the children that she bore into this world, she needs to toughen the hell up, just like a man would. Because that's
Yeah.
what the role is of a mother. The role is to be selfless. The role is to take care of that child. And the man is the role of the, breadwinner. That was what it was like for my family.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing too. And, people. I know that people often will wonder that too. They'll say, how come people just can't work things out? Why would a guy need multiple women when he can just work things out with that one woman, right? But again, I would argue that. I'm not trying to say monogamy doesn't work, but the fact that we have divorce rates so high, it just shows that they're not working. So again, I'm not advocating that. I'm just theoretically saying, what if they tried that again? It maybe can be a thing. I don't know, but men and women are different. Women have more emotional. They're more emotion. Men are more logical. So that's why I think having multiple girls, they can assess the situation a lot easier. Again, and mind you, you may have multiple chicks who are overly emotional. If one woman is like that, imagine all of them going crazy, like it's like everybody.
Like that's another thing. What if every single wife that man has is the same way or similar? Like
then that's his fault. That's his fault for picking all the same chicks. I mean, you can't go to Baskin Robbins and only get vanilla ice cream when there's lots of other flavors. You get what I'm saying? So, so he gotta get one black who's like acting a certain way, the white girl who's a certain way, the Mexicans a certain way. You know what I'm trying to say? You gotta get a little bit of flavor. So like maybe one day he's doing like salsa dancing with the Latina, and she's like, you know what I mean? And then he's like getting fried chicken with the black chick. No. I have no idea. I mean, it's very interesting stuff, though. But I think it's so. For me, I think that woman. I think it's interesting what she said because it's causing controversy. People are seeing this stuff and they're like freaking out because of it. Again, I'm not advocating for it. I'm not saying people should do it. I call that base because she's saying something that most women would not dare to do or say. And so they can see that, oh, maybe it's her religion. This is her religion. This is what she practices. I'm not going to do it. She's crazy. But I don't know. I mean,
have you actually looked up the statistics of this? Like in an Islamic country, for example, with a man who has multiple wives, is the divorce rate lower? And if it's lower, is it just because of a fallacy, like they can't get divorced as easily, or it's because they genuinely don't want to?
That's a good question. I'm actually going to look it up right now. I just typed in divorce rate polyamorous. I'm going to see what the stats say for poly. I'd be able to funny. They're like, it's like there's no divorces at all. Everybody's like, it's like working out for everybody.
Yeah, but then like that's probably because the government doesn't that could be because the government doesn't allow divorces as easily as like the Western world.
Yeah. I mean, and mind you, some websites may be different, but I'm going to just go with the one I see. This is coming from Maine Divorce Law blog.com. So this is I guess a man wrote this by John Groove. But it says some research suggests that open marriages has a 92% failure rate. So not only do very few people engage in open polyamorous marriages, 92% of those marriages fail. That's double the current divorce rate for monogamous heterosexual marriages. So I guess it's not working out too well with people in the polyamorous relationship. So yeah, it is what it is. Well, I mean, but you know what though? You know what, the argument I would make to that? You know how with men of high status, there's only few and far between? And that's why I will argue most relationships are not working out because men are not at the top of their game. And so there's only few and far between the men who have like the high status, their own job, money, entrepreneurship, things like that. There's only like what, top 1% or something like that. So the same thing with polyamorous relationships. There's only like a top 1% that's actually doing very well. and that's probably why it's not working out. Because majority of people, that 92%, don't know how to hold up those type of relationships. So the other 8% is actually doing very fine.
Yeah. And like, hold on, let's just like reflect on like the last 100 years of like American culture and stuff. Like in the 40s or the 30s and stuff, this kind of stuff wasn't a problem. Like there as like the divorce rates, was it as bad as it is in like the 60s? Like like where do you think it all went wrong? Because I have my theories, but I want to hear yours. And I want to hear
So
like comments as well. Where do you
yeah,
guys think?
from what I understand, this is what I understand, and then Jack could correct me if I'm wrong. But I think when the government introduced, like basically had people rely on the welfare, when they removed the fathers away from the homes, I think that's when you started seeing more, the divorce rate split because women felt like I can just get the government to help me out. Why do I need a man to take care of me? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think because of that, it pushed the idea that women can be independent as long as they get assistance from the government. And so then came feminism that basically told women they can be strong, independent, you're powerful, sex liberation, or sexual liberation. You can have abortions, your body, your choice. All that it just got worse and worse and worse. They perversed. Uh, yeah, they perverse traditional marriage. So I would argue that I think that I want to say that happened in maybe like the 60s when that was happening.
No,
So
the 70s for sure.
well, no, I think the 60s when they did they had the welfare before, but I think in the 60s when they really kind of pushed it a lot more. Um, and so once they removed fathers away from the home, I think that's when it took a turn for the worse. Matter of fact, they even have high abortions back in those. I think abortion was like lower, and now it's like skyrocketed since Roe v. Wade. So,
but I like recently, since Roe v. Wade was overturned, you shared an article like that was telling us that abortion rates are going down. Is it still the case, or?
I know that in Texas, when they did the heartbeat bill, and then Roe v. Wade got overturned, I know in Texas for sure that the abortion rate was going down. But that's the thing, is that even with leaving it back up to the states, they'll make the excuse of, well, if we can't have an abortion, then we're going to have it illegally. But that's the thing. It's like I think by pushing those kind of bills, it will compel more women not to have sex out of wedlock, because again, 98.5% of women who have abortions are all doing it at an inconvenience. This was reported by the USA Today back in 2019, where a lot of the abortions were due because of inconvenience, essentially. 1% was due to rape, 0.5% was due to incest. So 98.5% are all because of inconvenience. Women who are having sex, getting pregnant, and saying, I can't be a mother, but I can be a 304 with this guy. So 304 means hoe.
Such a mess. Like people need to learn abstinence.
Yeah, well, it says Jesse Lee Peterson says, "What a mess." So, but yeah, so I mean, but I think again, I'm not advocating for polyamorous relationships. I'm just saying that for this woman to be saying this to kind of push that, some might call it, oh, it's demonic because they're trying to push this, ungodly ways on like the Islam way on American culture kind of thing, and so they might see it as ungodly. But again, I'm not advocating for it because it's not my thing. But I would just say that if it works for you, it works for you. I mean, according to the article, I can't say if it's true or not, but according to the article, it's 92% failure, people who do this. So the 8% is doing just fine. So I don't know if the 92% can learn from them and ask, hey, how did it work for you guys? And the next thing you know, now it's, you know what I mean? So it's like, now instead of being a failure, it's actually a success. So I don't know. But it's very interesting stuff. So again, I find it interesting because I think that her saying that obviously it pokes a nerve with a lot of people and a lot of women
Yeah,
because
especially me since I like escaped an Islamic country. So this
interesting,
triggered
interesting.
me.
So so were you? So what's your nationality?
Persian. So I escaped the Iranian regime when I was like 5, but my mom told me like what it was like because she lived through the revolution. Um, should I
Interesting.
even like? There's stuff that might get you banned, but like
Yeah, no, yeah. Let's not go there. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I'll
but
speak in code. I'll speak in code, and whoever knows will probably know. So basically, in 1930, no, in 1973, the Shah of Iran, which is like king in like Persian, the king of Iran, Shah, he uh he was like on like some he was doing an interview with like American media or whatever. And he mentioned about how there's a lot of Jays who own the media. And 3 years later, he was overthrown and and he had to leave Iran.
all because he
So now you
mentioned the
get things
Jays.
like how a certain country that must not be named bombing Iran.
Interesting. So basically, he was saying that the eyes were bombing Iran.
No. He was saying that the Jays own a lot of American media and they're brainwashing his people.
Right, but the country that was bombing it was it the eye?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so the eyes was bombing Iran because he blamed the Jays, and then when he
No.
but
Like
yeah,
basically, like
but that's what's interesting to me. I mean, on the side note, I don't want to get too deep into this whole rabbit hole, but on the side note, I find that interesting that even in another country, when this guy was criticizing you know who, that something happened. So what does that tell you about what's going on with the globe? Okay, anyways, that's a whole rabbit hole. That's a whole rabbit hole. We would not go down a different podcast. We're talking about relationships here, man.
dangerous zone to go down. You might get banned off everywhere and called like
I know, right? Next thing you know, the FBI.
anti-Butt.
I mean, but I will say just on that real quick, I would just say that I think that's very interesting to me. I look again, I don't want to go too much down the rabbit hole, but I would just say on that alone, I find it very, very interesting that even in another country, one guy is like, "It's these people," and all of a sudden it's like, "Wait, I was just trying to speak my piece." That's a little bit crazy to me. And then because of that, one country decides to bomb another. So, oh man,
The revolution of
it,
Iran was a tragedy. We could have become like so like aligned with America and a
yeah,
superpower as well.
it really makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder who owns who. So,
Who owns what?
anyways, I don't want to say no more. I don't want to say no more because I don't want to get banned. Next thing you know, you might start hearing crazy stuff. So, so you know what I mean. So you just never know. But but anyways, but yeah. So I kind of wanted to play more of her content because she has this other video that I kind of wanted to see. Now I didn't get a chance to watch this one, but I kind of understood where she was going with this. So we'll check out one more video, and then we'll see what the chat have to say about it. So I know everybody's like, "No, talk about the rabbit hole." I'm like, "No, we ain't finna go down that route." So we ain't finna start doing that. Someone says, "So glad you made the escape. Watch self."
Thank
It's a
you.
fascinating discussion. Somebody said, "Real eyes bombing the Iran." MC
It's
said,
not
"You're awesome."
Iran, it's Iran. So
You know
many
what's funny?
Americans call it Iran. Like what?
I called it Iran for the longest time. And there's a joke about that too. It's like a little joke, like something in Iran.
Iran
Like
from Iran.
yeah, there you go. So Yeah, but I didn't realize until about I want to say 2 years ago, maybe a year ago. It's called Iran. I didn't know. I just always thought it was Iran because it's like I and then it's
Ignorant
in the name.
American.
Hey, it is what it is. Just give me my burger and fries and milkshake and some
As
YouTube
long as
and
it's vegan, I'll be good.
something like that. All right, let me play this one too. Okay, so mind you, this video right here, this is something that I agree with, but I didn't get a chance to watch the video itself. So we'll watch it together. I want to get you guys' take on this one, and then we'll watch something else. Let me get to it real quick.
He wanted me to give women an example of how to obey.
Hold on. Let me. I know, right? Wait, hold on to something for your life. All right, let me play this clip. And there we go. All right.
Mother reached out. He wanted me to give women an example of how to obey the husband. You don't need examples, women. You already know.
Hold on.
Be at work at 5 p.m. You're there.
I'm gonna play it back.
Brother reached out. He wanted me to give women an example of how to obey the husband. You don't need examples, women. You already know. You obey your boss. When your boss tells you be at work at 5 p.m., you're there 5 p.m. sharp. Sometimes you're even there early to make sure you're not late. You obey your father. If your father tells you go wash the dishes, you'll go wash them and you'll come right back. So obey your husband the way you would obey your boss or your father, because he deserves that type of respect.
So now I'm curious, what do you think about that? Because that's something that I actually agree with. Because I posted months ago on Facebook, I was like, why do women obey God but not their husband? And like women, I had like a lot of comments that day. People were freaking out. They was like, I like your take, Julius, but not this one. And I was like, what is so wrong with that word? Like, why do women hate the word obey? I mean, if you get married to your husband and you're doing it under the eyes of God, wouldn't you follow the Bible where it says to obey your husband? I mean, in the Bible alone, in Ephesians, it says wives should obey their husbands as they obey the Lord. And then it says husbands should love your wife as they love the Lord. So why do you think that women don't like the word obey? Why is that such like a dangerous word to it just triggers people?
Well, personally, I don't find anything wrong with again. I don't find anything wrong with the word obey, but the reason why, women are uncomfortable with that word is because of the negative connotations that trigger them with that word. What I mean is, it reminds them of to obey reminds them of a lack of freedom or a lack of respect. Like that's like to obey someone. Sometimes that person can over hold on, I'm trying to find the right word to say. They're trying the negative connotation behind the word obey is why women are afraid of it. They think that obey have authoritarian over you. But when you actually does that make sense?
I mean, what I'm trying to figure out is like in the Bible it says obey. So why get mad at the word obey, especially if you're following God? Why get mad at that word when it's in the Bible? If that's the word from God, then why would it be such a bad thing to follow if it's in the Bible? That's where I get confused. Because if you're like, oh, I pray to God and God bless, but then all of a sudden obey your husband, it's like, oh, I would never. And it's like, but the Bible says it. So do you hate God?
No, like the thing is that oh my god, I'm echoing again. Hold on one second.
It's still echoing now.
Hold on,
No, it could be because I think. I mean, maybe I'm totally wrong on this, but I think it could be echoing because I'm trying to do multiple things. I think maybe that's why it's echoing because it's a lot going on my end. trying to like pull up things and things like that. So
Is there still an echo?
somebody says definitely speakers repeating her vocals. I don't hear it on my end, but let me see. Hold on, let me check my phone real quick. Let me just make sure. Her vocals. I don't hear it on my end, but let me see. Hold on, let me check. Say something on your end. Make sure. Her vocals. I don't hear it on my end, but let me see. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, I don't hear anything.
But the audience. Wait, is it gone now?
It sounds like it's gone to me. I don't hear anything. Somebody said something real quick. Somebody said, "Where's the cute white guy?"
He's in the chat. Hit him up.
He's in the chat, but unfortunately, Nick couldn't be on screen because he's not feeling too well. But he is in the chat, so you guys want to say what's up to Nick? He's in the chat as Common Sense Culture. So I just turned down my volume. Hopefully that changes things. Matter of fact, this is what
it's better now.
Well, here's what I'll do. I'm gonna disconnect my Bluetooth because that could be it.
No, don't worry. It's okay now.
It's fine now?
Yeah.
It's probably just the volume. Because the volume's
Sorry
too loud.
about that, guys. Kind of interrupting the show.
Yeah. It's probably just the volume because people say no echo now. Cool. Hey, the show must go on, right? That's why I got to pull a little trailer.
Let's get right back into it. So, have you noticed that, like, even though majority of Americans, still like identify as Christian, and it is like a predominantly Christian nation, they don't really follow the values. I think that it's the weakest Christian country. It's one of the weakest Christian countries in the world right now.
Yeah.
So they don't even really follow the Bible.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I think this is what I think too sometimes. I think that the culture has really normalized sex so much that when you start to push other agendas along with that, it makes people hypersexualize everybody. So, and social media does a lot. I remember with Instagram. So, hold on. I gotta tell this one little story. Hang on a second. Let me go ahead and do this. Real quick, if you want to further explain why women hate the word obey, go ahead, Rosita. I'm going to pull up something real quick.
Okay. So, the word obey, to carry out or fulfill the command, order, or instruction of. So, to women, after the feminist brainwashing and stuff, they want to be free. They don't want to follow the command of their husbands, but they've been tricked into that just in another way, and they don't even realize it because it's like a fish in water. They're so caught in it that they don't know. So instead of being obedient to the husband, they're now obedient to a boss
or the law.
But they don't use that word because it's not obeying the boss, even though it is.
Yeah, I agree. So I mentioned social media because that's when I bring up social media. I bring up how things have changed as far as society. And one thing I noticed is that, again, they hypersexualize everything, whether it's hetero, homo, whatever the case may be, they hypersexualize it. So I talked about social media. So I'm going to go ahead and tell a little story. I'm going to bring it back a little bit. So so in 2013, when I used to work at Six Flags in Vallejo in California here, I was listening to talk radio. I stopped listening to music. I was like, there's too much junk on the radio. I'm done with this. So when I got a job at Six Flags, my first day on the job was doing security. So it was raining that day. I had to guard the front entrance. And mind you, the park was closed. So nobody was, this was like before it actually opened, and I was guarding the gate area. So the front gate. I was listening to talk radio, and on the day I was listening to it, they interviewed the guy from Instagram and they interviewed Jack Dorsey for Twitter. And so I was listening to the guy from Instagram. I forgot his name, but I was listening to the interview, He basically said that he made Instagram because he wanted people to tell a story through pictures. And it was like that for the longest time. People would like when I went to New York back in 2013. I was taking a whole bunch of pictures and I was kind of telling a story through the pictures, like me meeting the people who dress as like superheroes in the street making money, Times Square, places where it was snowing, things like that, Manhattan, Brooklyn, all that kind of stuff. I was taking lots of pictures and kind of telling that story through there. Over time, I would argue that by the time Facebook bought Instagram, things just got more wild. You had women becoming, Instagram models and calling themselves modeling and things like that. Then it became like thoughts and things like that, like thotties, THOT, mean that whole over there. It got so perverse over time to where now women are just basically almost selling nudity on Instagram. So because of that, they're being hypersexualized. Where now a man can see that on Instagram, and he goes out into the world and he's like, hubba, 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 it's all these girls. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he just sees it, he's lusting after them versus actually seeing them as actually people. So, and then also, too, the fact that women do that, then they expect men to treat them with respect, but yet you're online showing half your body, but then you want a guy to, like, be nice to you and treat you a certain way. I'm not saying be an a-hole to her, but if you're giving off sexual vibes, you're going to get men who vibe with you sexually. It's just how it is. So because of that, there is no more traditionalism. There is no more class. There's nothing like that. No one's being classy. So now, and then with the culture now, with the music, the female rappers, the female singers like Taylor Swift, telling all these girls that men are bad, men are trash, this and that, know your worth, boss babe, get your bag, blah blah blah. It's like they're trying to turn females in competition to like men essentially. And so because of that, you have this men versus women. It's the patriarchy, it's the pay gap, it's all these things. Men try to break you down. They just see you for one thing, even though women objectify themselves like 98% of the time on social media and even in real life. Shorts, cleavage out, things like that. And yet you want men to treat you a certain way when you're not even treating yourself a certain way. So now because of that, when women get married, it's like they get married, but when they hear the word obey, it's like, I don't like that word because I shouldn't have to obey a man and da. But it's like, if you want dominance in your relationship, then allow the man to take the lead. And that's the thing now is that women want to be. And I noticed this too. When I go out there and do my interviews for modern dating, I noticed that a lot of people are saying it's 50-50 relationship. Everything 50-50, 50-50. I'm like, is it though? Because one person has to be the ultimate decision maker in the end, either the man or the woman. Yeah, the man can, have an idea, the woman can complement that idea, and you guys can say 50-50, but ultimately there has to be a decision maker. That's why there's a president, a vice president, there's a CEO, there's a manager, there's a supervisor. There's always a hierarchy in everything that we do. There's nurses, there's doctors, there's always a hierarchy. That's why in police stations you have, yeah, exactly. There's order, exactly. So because of that, so when that order comes to obey your husband, women take that. And I noticed that when women hear the word obey, the first thing they think about is like some kind of torture. Like they're in a room in a chain like this, and the guy's like, make me a sandwich, woman. She's like, oh, I can't. Obey me. And it's like, I don't know why women think like that. Like, why do you think that? Like, why is that your mindset? Like, of the worst of the worst when it comes to obey. How about just honoring your husband? How about respect the fact that he's the one working, putting in hours to take care of you guys, to pay for the bills, to pay for the kids, to pay for, some things you want. Some women will ask for an allowance, for each month to get their nails done, which is kind of insane. So it's like the man can do all this for you, but you can't simply just obey him. And then, and then the question becomes, well, how is he obeying a woman? I mean, the fact that he's out working, putting in the hours, taking care of the house, taking care of the kid by providing for all you guys, that's his love for you. That's why he loves you. That's him showing you love by him providing. And yet what he gets is the opposite. So what's wrong with obeying your husband? I mean, you listen to your father when he said, don't do this. Listen to your boss when they say show up to work on time. You obey the law. You don't speed. You don't blow past a stop sign. You don't blow past a red light. Some do, but you know what I mean. But overall, you obey the law, but yet you can't obey your husband. So I find that fascinating to me that women just get triggered by that word. I don't know. That's just me. That's my little rant.
beautiful rant. I have to say that was perfect, perfectly said, dude. Well done.
Well, don't boost my ego. No, I'm playing.
No, but that's
um,
exactly it, right? But it's like it just keeps coming back, to it being a cultural issue. And yes, the first, like the second wave feminism, which I believe was like the 70s or something. This is the third wave feminism, and it's the worst. And all of it is being done through virtual reality, ironically enough.
yeah. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm getting to a point now where I saw this video. This was back in like 2020. I saw a video on either Instagram or Twitter where they had these guys lined up and they were wearing virtual goggles, and they had them lined up because I guess in the game they were having sex with a woman. So they had this mat on the floor, and yeah, they had the mat on the floor. Guys had on goggles, and you saw the guy doing the sex motion, and I was like, and there's guys lined up for this. That's weird. Like you're watching another man motion like
Let's
this.
talk about porn. Like it's so bad. Like
Yeah,
I'm
pornography.
not.
Yeah,
I know that this is controversial, but I don't think men or women should watch porn.
yeah, I agree.
I think like, okay, I know that this might then kind of like, what is he laughing about? What am I saying?
Well, no, it's so true. Before I talk about the laughing, I said the whole story about the kid, but no, you're right though, because look, porn hypersexualizes everything. And matter of fact, I would argue that people who watch porn, the problem with that is they take that and put that in their relationships, and it's like, first of all, they're getting paid to do that. Like they're getting paid to moan as loud as they want, to do some crazy sex position. I don't know what folks do, Madonna. I don't know what these folks are doing. I don't know, but they do some crazy stuff, and so they're getting paid to do that. And people watch that and think, I gotta do that to my girlfriend. And then in reality, you try to do it to her. She's like, I can't bend my leg. What are you trying to do? He's like, oh, I saw this in the video one time. Like, she's like, you're so weird. And then it makes the whole thing awkward because it's like you're trying to do these sex positions that they're paid to do. She's paid to look like a pretzel. Essentially,
It's
you know what I mean?
so weird. It really is. It really I found that as well. And okay, I'll just stop there.
Yeah. No, but again, but porn, what it does is it hypersexualizes everybody. You got men who look at that and they go into the world and all they see is a bite. It's like they see women, but they see nakedness. It's like it just hypersexualizes them, and that's unfortunate. But that's how they try to destroy, relationships. You know what I mean? The pornography's out there. It's free. You got kids who got cell phones with 13 years old that can go on this stuff. And matter of fact, even when I was like signing up to do the Age of Men podcast on Instagram, I mean, it open to everything like travel, sports, things like that. Even still with that, it still shows you some type of sexualness. It's wild to me. So imagine a 13-year-old kid, 12-year-old kid, 13-year-old kid who has a cell phone, male or female, able to go on things like Instagram, go on things like Twitter, and see all this crazy junk on there. So because of that, their minds are already being warped. Especially with having the testosterone, the estrogen, it like raised that up. And now the kid's like, oh my God, I'm feeling all these things I shouldn't feel. And then he's like looking down and he's like, whoop. It's like, I don't know what this feeling is. And then next thing you know, masturbation happens. And now he wants to really, and next thing you know, he's 16 and she's 16. And now you got a whole MTV show called 16 and Pregnant. So it's really wild. I mean, but that's the thing. This is why traditional marriage is no longer a thing. Traditionalism is no longer a thing. Matter of fact, when I was asking women what they want to be, man, I'll just go ahead and show you guys. I'll show you. I mean, some of you guys watched it live, but I put the videos, a more short form, so you guys can see the answers that these women gave when it came to me asking them about modern dating and what comes along with this. So give me 1 second. I'll pull it up right now. All right. So here is the videos. Let me pull this up. Okay. So this is some of the questions that I was asking. So this is one right here. I asked this chick about alpha or beta. Alpha male or a beta male?
That's a weird question. I don't know. I'm not. Alpha males are like with me because I'm like.
How about this? A dominant man or a submissive man?
Yeah, dominant.
So an alpha male.
I guess. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
So that's funny to me because it's like, you know, she says she wants. Would you want a dump? She says she wants you know, an alpha, you know, but try to say she doesn't like an alpha. I found that funny, but I want to get to this one right here. I asked this woman right here about career or stay. Which would you? So I basically asked them about a career or stay-at-home mom, and this was their answer for both of them. Mm-hmm. Which would you prefer, career or stay-at-home mom?
Stay-at-home mom. Stay-at-home mom.
And why?
Because I really want to be there for my kids, like all the way. And then fuck them kids. I want to stay at home and watch TV. Next question. No, stay at home mom, man. I want to stay home. Okay. I want to lay down. Yeah, they had us the first half. I'm not gonna lie.
So that's kind of what I wanted to show.
Which would you prefer?
Oh, hold on. Career or stay-at-home mom?
Stay-at-home mom.
Let me pause this. Okay, so I thought that was pretty funny because these women. We have my friend Jules on. Let me go ahead and bring her on real quick.
Hey guys.
All right, so this is hey, what's going on? What's going on?
Hi. Good to see you.
How you doing?
Great.
Good to see you. Right on. Glad you're here. All right, guys. So this is the third guest I'll tell you guys about. This is my friend Jules. She's going to be joining us for the next hour and 10 minutes. It's a 2-hour show, so next hour and 10 minutes. I appreciate you for being on here. You kind of missed the first half. If
you know what? It comes with being a mom / newlywed wife. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to feed the kids. Like, we went to church and I'm like, oh yeah, I got to make dinner. Let me do this quick thing real quick. And it's not really real quick. And nothing's really quick when it comes to making dinner, really. And it's like, oh, I got to feed the husband. Oh, I got to do this. It's like, okay, now I got to make coffee because I'm cold. And then it's like, okay, now I have to wait for that. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you being here. So basically, what we were talking about just now was we were kind of like segueing from the word obey and how because I was showing a video. I don't know if you saw that video I posted on Instagram with the women who were talking about bringing more wives to your husband and things like that.
Bless
so
heart,
we'll get back to that. So then we kind of jumped from watching the second video, which she was talking about the word obey, and I was asking Rosita, why do women tend to hate the word obey? Like, why is that word so triggering? And then we jumped from that to, I was going a whole little rant about that. And then we kind of talked about how I was asking women last night, which would they have, a career or a stay-at-home mom? And one woman said stay-at-home mom because she wants to take care of her kids. And the other woman said, F those kids, I want to stay home. I want to just relax or something like that. So I found that interesting to me, how one says she wants to be at home with the kid, the other one's just like, I just want to stay home, like F those kids. So I found that interesting to me.
That is very interesting. Wow. Yeah.
So
when it comes to that, it's just, I guess it all depends, right? Like, were they single? Were they?
I don't know. Well, I mean, if one's a stay-at-home mom, I would argue the one who said wants to be a stay-at-home mom, I think she does have kids. I think I don't maybe she's single. I mean, she's at the club, so maybe she is single.
Look, listen, I've been okay. So I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't one of those moms that was like, oh, screw the kids, I'm gonna go clubbing. But there was this little 2 years of my life where I was like, yeah, okay, you know what? It's my turn to go out and hang out with my girlfriends. And I would go and I'd be the only mom. But then I recognized there was like all these older women, like legit, like moms. And I'm like, what are you guys doing here? But I was, I was one of them. So I was over here like talking shit. But they were like terrible. They were terribly old. Like you could just tell, you don't belong here. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So yeah, I get it.
She's like, I still got it. Her wrinkled hands, like her old Nancy Pelosi hands.
Y'all doing the robot. No.
Oh my god.
Her big Nancy Pelosi boobs and her like wrinkled old hands. She's like, I still got it.
Okay, why do you have to give us that imagery? That's just disgusting. What the
hell? Nancy Pelosi. Hey, whoever took that picture of Nancy Pelosi, that guy was either horny or whatever the case, but they put that out there for the world to see. They was like, look at her at the beach, and every guy was like,
gross. No. Okay.
So nasty.
That goes to that. Well, you know what? I learned a lot about you right now in just these couple seconds. So there you go.
Hey, all I'm saying is I'm not the one who took that picture of Nancy Pelosi. I'm just saying I go to the club and ask questions. Like I'm at the club outside. I see it all. I see from young women to old women, and I'm like, one of you guys don't belong here. Like y'all too old to be out here trying to look for dudes and things like that. So that's actually one of my questions I'm going to do next week. I'm going to ask, why do women like to go to the club, and then see what the women say about that. So it's fascinating. The questions I ask are very fascinating. I think the fact that I'm out there even like having these type of questions, it's interesting to see what people say. That's why I'm kind of like showing some videos from my TikTok that I do, asking these type of questions. So like look, for example, let me pull up some real quick. Hold on, let me pull up something I was talking to Rosita about when it comes to.
So much. Let her speak.
You said what?
The fact that you're the host of the show, but
I mean, hey, yeah, it's my show.
I ain't trying to step on toes here, but like it's 2 against 1 right now. So where's your homie? Where's Nick?
He's not feeling
Nick
well. He's in the comment section, but he's not feeling well. So unfortunately, he can't be here. So I got to hold down the fort. Well, so yeah. So, matter of fact, I do have a question for you. I was going to segue this because I was talking to Rosita earlier about the whole 50-50 thing and kind of like talking about that, and kind of curious to know why people say it's 50-50 rather than like the man leading and then the woman follows. So I'm kind of curious about that. So I'm gonna play you a video that. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna play you a video that I did that I asked about that, and I want to get you guys' take on that about the 50-50 thing. Let me pull it up real quick. Hang on. I'm gonna pull up this one, and then I want to get you guys' take on it. Hold on a second. In a relationship. Okay. Okay. So here's the question that I asked this couple right here. Who do you think should lead in a relationship, the man or the woman?
I think it's 50-50, to be honest. Yeah. Because as a man, I know that sometimes a man ain't thinking that he's tripping sometimes, no matter what. And a female will do her part in navigating for the man as a man will for the woman. Okay. I think if you got a 50-50 relationship, that's the way to do it, because no man can be perfect at all times. Fair enough.
Okay, so that's me doing my little edits I always do. So what do you guys think about that? Like, are relationships really 50-50, or is it can it be like the man should lead, women follows, like the man's the ultimate decision maker? What do you guys think about that? And Jules, will get your response first.
Okay, yeah, this is extremely one of those questions where it's like you're either in or you're out kind of a thing. But if you're in a relationship, I think regardless, the man should absolutely lead at all times. Absolutely don't think that you're gonna be there to like just let him do all the work kind of a thing either. But you know, we're not mind readers. Like neither of us are mind readers. So the woman has to communicate just as the man has to communicate. And I don't believe in 50-50, because then where's the other 50 go? Who does it go to? If you're 100% person, then where does that other 50 go? Like I should be able to give you all of my 100, whatever that looks like. I may be lacking in some things, but I expect you to give me 100 of whatever it is that you have too, and accept it. I don't believe in that 50-50, because that's like half-ass. Why would I want to be in a relationship half-ass? Like either you're in or you're out. For me, it's like you're full on in or you're not. Otherwise, like I ain't gonna waste my time if you're gonna be half-assed. You know, it's just, for me, absolutely the man should lead. I believe that, obviously. I also have, you know, I believe in what God's word says, that, you know, the man should absolutely lead, the woman should. And I know this is a huge heated topic, because I've seen all your interviews, you know, with this topic. But yeah, the women should, you know, come under the man, because he is absolutely the head of the household. Not to say that we need to like bow down and like, you know, kiss his feet. I mean, although, you know, those are nice things. Obviously, you do nice things for each other. You learn each other, what he likes, what you like. Communication obviously is key. But yeah, I mean, that's what I think, at least, about that.
And then Rosita, what do you think?
I think it should be 70-30. So 70% the man leads, 30% the woman. Because
Interesting.
if
Okay.
if if like if it's always the man leading and if it's always the man's way, resentment is going to start on the part of the woman. And she's going to feel unheard, and she's going to feel like her opinions, her feelings, her thoughts on stuff doesn't really matter. And that's kind of like that's part of the reason why marriages fail.
But why? So to ask you both the question, and then I actually got a question for you, Jules, too, because you said something. But why? What is so wrong? I mean, Jules, you did say that the man should leave, but why is that such a problem? Do you think in society for women to allow the man to lead? Because I would argue most women do want that. Matter of fact, I asked a couple of women, will they want a man that's dominant or submissive? I think three of them said they want dominance. So it's like it sounds like they want the submissive part from a man when it benefits them, but in reality they really want a man to dominate, because they got a man that's always submissive and always saying yes all the time. They're gonna lose the attraction for him at some point.
Yeah, that's not a good thing either. So there has to be a balance with everything. I truly believe there has to be a balance with everything. There's no way you can be extremely all yes all the time and an extremely no, because then you don't really want to be with either extreme.
I'm sorry, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, and so like I mean, to me that kind of sounds like, well, if you're gonna be saying yes all the time, like you're with a beta, like who really wants to be with one of those? Like unless you're a liberal, like and you're
Yeah.
like more of a dyke or something like that, which is like a whole other thing. But I truly I believe that nowadays everybody's kind of been unfortunately mind fucked, in that it's okay for you to be above the man, and because all these women have been indoctrinated, whether it be at home or at school or in one way or another, making them believe that you really don't need a man in your life. And it's like, yeah, we kind of do. We need to have that leadership, that example of what that's like, to have that stern head of household, so that in our future, because God did command us to go forth and procreate. Obviously we're not going to procreate by ourselves. Like vaginas need dicks just as much as dicks need vaginas. Like, to me, we need to have each other. We need each other, whether we want to believe it or not. Like, all these people in the left, they're over here arguing, like wanting, like, to kill babies and stuff, but it's like, dude, you weren't killed, you were born by a man and a woman. Like, deal with it. Like, they're just upset. I believe it has to do with pride. Pride is awful, awful, awful. If you don't deal with pride early on in your life, I think even if it's later on, the sooner the better. The sooner you realize, oh my God, I'm full of myself, or in this subject or in another. That's just going to kill every relationship in your life, whether it be with your mom, your dad, your brother, your sisters, or your boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, if you have pride in your life and you don't let go of that resentment, like she was talking about resentment, it has to do with pride. It has to do with your self-identity. Pride is an awful thing and definitely destroys relationships for sure.
Interesting answer.
And pride is the seven deadly sins, so. And pride was actually Lucifer's fall, so.
There you go. Well, I mean, come on. What greater example does anybody need? What does pride look like? Well, I don't know. What did he actually do? Well, he thought he was greater than God. He wanted to be God. Like, that's great. It's great that we're all made in the likeness of God, right? We're not to replace him. We're not to replace him. We have been made in his image, meaning, he created us individually, but we're not to replace him. That was his fault. The fact that, he wanted to replace him. And obviously, yeah, God is a jealous God. Like, these people, I don't know why people don't fear God more than they fear Satan, because they really should.
Some people don't even believe in God, so that's another big problem that America's having right now.
Well, just on that real quick, I find it interesting too that people who don't believe in God, but they believe in Satan. So if you believe in Satan, you gotta believe that there's a God as well.
Right.
So You know what I mean? It's
I
like
don't
kind of
believe
weird
in
to
any
me.
of it. Like I have friends who don't believe in Satan or God. They just think it's all myth, and science has overridden these ideas that the Bible is real and Christianity is fake, and that's what they tell me.
What do they base it off of, though? Like people
Scientific
who
evidence. There was no flood. There was no evidence of any of this.
there's actual evidence everywhere you go in Romania. If you go over to Greece, or if you go over, overseas, like if you go into and really dig, if they individually go themselves to actually say, hey, you know what, let's do a scavenger hunt. Let's just out of the blue go out there to the Red Sea and dig up just a bunch of just sand out of the ocean to see what we find. Like people have found legitimate proof of, when Moses and his people were crossing the Red Sea. And it's like, how do you explain that to somebody who clearly is saying that's not true? Like it's there. So I don't know.
Yeah, this is why I advocate for traveling so much, because I've traveled throughout a few countries in Asia, and when I went to Vietnam, I felt the essence of Buddha. So you have to go to these places yourself. You can't read a study or you can't watch a documentary. You have to go out there and experience it yourself. Otherwise, you're never going to find God.
Yes, I agree with experiencing. Yes, absolutely. But I also believe in the Holy Spirit, where you don't have to be in Israel to experience like God
Yeah.
and the Holy Spirit. Like Holy Spirit is gonna come to you whether you like it or not, and He's gonna hit you, and it's like it's just gonna happen without an explanation, kind of a thing. But yeah, no, I absolutely advocate for going and researching. I love what Julius is doing. It was where he's going, asking questions, like we're finding out, like. He's not just sitting there complacent and not doing anything, And I think that's one of the things that, for whatever reason, I can't even explain it, why people nowadays aren't waking up to what's going on now, with everything, name it, everything, the medical field, the politics, the police, anything, you name it. Like nobody's really like going out of their way, taking time, being intentional about researching facts. And not just going one-sided, but hey, let me look over to the other side real quick to see what they're talking about. And guess what? Question it. God's word says to test everything. He says to test the spirits. Like, why would he tell us to test his spirit if he wasn't fair? Like somebody who's like, hey, I love you enough to tell you the truth, but if you don't believe me, go ahead and test me. Like,
I have an answer for that, actually. I actually have an answer for that. I mentioned this last night when I was out. I was basically saying that people don't have time to look up Bill Gates buying farmland and what China is doing in America. People don't have time for that. Like that's something
that's a good point.
It's like I compare it to music, for example. Anybody can listen to a song being like, I'm effing this bitch, I'm they can listen to that all day long. But when you play like a Kendrick Lamar, they have to listen to it. So it's like they don't want to take time to actually critically think. They want to be dumbed down by the beat. Cause you ever notice how like you hear somebody rapping something lyrical and you play it for your friend? What does your friend always say? I like the beat. But then you play them something like stupid, they go, "Oh, I like that." Dance. And it's like they can easily repeat that, but they can't repeat an actual lyrical song because they're programmed to be dumbed down. They can't comprehend actual comprehension. So it's the same thing when it comes to the politics. They don't want to take time to actually see what like a Bill Gates is doing, or the World Economic Forum, or the Klaus Schwabs of the world. They don't want to look at what what Biden's doing, what's the whole Ukraine Russia thing. They don't want to like see how the corruption with Zelensky is. They don't got time for that because it takes time to critically think about all those things. But they can go home and watch their Netflix and watch their Hulu
or
and
their
watch
TikTok.
They can scroll through on TikTok for hours
and be for hours,
and look at
and
all
it's just,
the
just this one time, and one time turns into a whole day. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, it's that microwave mentality, right? It's like if it's not done now, then it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
And it's also, what it is also, it's that codependency. I'm going to depend on somebody else to take care of it. I'm going to depend on those politicians because they're already in office, because they're already there. And it's like, really we're just like throwing them in the washing machine and it's filthy water and you're just wanting to get it washed and clean when all you're doing is just really just rinsing the whole thing over and over and over, and it's not coming out clean at all because you're hoping that they come out clean because somebody is going to eventually put the detergent in there. It's not going to happen if you don't do it. Get up and do it. But I think we also have to do our part where it's like, let's just tell everybody, guess what? You're so important that even the littlest information that you might have, yell it from the top of the rooftops. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. The tiniest little information can probably save somebody's life. Guess what? I'm going to tell you that Jesus loves you because maybe that's all I know, because I've experienced it myself. You know, obviously, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what it's like to be married because I'm married. I'm going to tell you more what it's like, how to be a mom because I'm a mom. You know, like, I have my experiences. I have my lessons that I've learned that I'm going to be able to teach you or show you or tell you about because I know that it's helped me. So I want it to help you because I care about you. So each of us, we should just empower each other. Enough with the bullshit of trying to like divide everybody. Yeah, there's going to be real division out there. It's happening. And I thank God for it because that evil, you shouldn't fuck with it. Period. You should not fuck with any of that shit. It is very real. The demonic is absolutely real. Don't fuck with it. But you know what? Also continue to pray for them. Like, continue to tell them, hey, you know what? Jesus still loves you. That's what I do at the rallies. Like, you know, when I saw you over there in Modesto, I was like, oh crap, what the heck's going on? let me count the heads. Let me see how many people are there. Let me see. But I go to these things, you know, we do events, we do the rallies, we do the protests at Planned Parenthood. That's evil in itself. We're literally going to evil places. We are marching in there and we're saying, yeah, this is not okay. But also, I'm going to pray for everybody there, you know, like, I just truly believe that, yeah, it's important for us to stop beating each other up. Obviously, we have one common enemy, and everybody needs to be aware of that. We have one common enemy, and it's not you because you're Black, and it's not you because you're white. It's the enemy. It's Satan, and he's the enemy of our souls. He's not the enemy of just the women's souls. He's not the enemy of just the Black lives souls. Like, he's the enemy of all of our souls. I think everybody needs to know that.
Agreed.
Yeah, no, that's very well said. I mean, I won't get into this too much, but that's one of the reasons why I stopped going to those type of like rallies, because first and foremost, like, I just don't care anymore. I really don't care, because what happened in LA, like, I already knew that was going to happen. The family of Tyree Nichols said protest peacefully.
They did say that.
Now, mind you, I did see the video. I watched the clips here and there. Mm-hmm. They were doing the same old thing, going to the cops, yelling, right to free speech. They can say what they want, right?
Oh, yeah,
they can stand there and yell all day long.
Right.
But to me, it's like, if that happened here, it'd be a waste of time with me filming, and then I'm just standing there being like, okay, guys, they're yelling at the officers.
Exactly.
That, hey, God.
You're like, giving them attention that they don't need. Like, why do you want to go over there and film them to put them on blast? Like, you want to do the opposite of that with everything. You just want to do the opposite of that. You don't want to give them attention. You don't want to highlight, you don't want to highlight the crap that they're doing. Everybody already knows, like, their MO, Antifa, they're pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Like, their MO is to fuck shit up and not, give a crap about anything except for themselves, which is ridiculous. Like, they're BLM, but they're all white.
I mean, look, I went undercover. Again, I don't want to go too much into this, but I went undercover as Antifa. And I would argue that a lot of those people, they may be getting paid. Some might be really trying to mess things up. But there are some people who are out there who are literally just there because they want to support the current thing. I listened to, I was like walking in the crowd, and I'm like listening to everybody's conversation. I can tell folks were tired. They were walking for hell long. They wanted to go home. Like, there's actually normal people in that group. It's just that we only see like the crazy ones that do something. When the crazy do something, we put it on everybody. I'm not trying to, excuse Antifa. I'm just saying I've seen what it was like when I went undercover. Like, it's. There are folks who go crazy. There are folks who really about the cause, but then there are folks who's just like there to just support it, and then after that they go home and whatever the case. But I stopped doing that because I was like, I don't want to give that attention. I think it's a waste of time. Like, it's such a waste to stand there and film, and then they come up to me and I'm like, yeah,
and then
And it's just like now I'm getting angry just like they're like now they're trying to get this energy out of me. And I'm like, oh man, my veins are popping. Like, I don't want to do all that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm cool. I'd rather be in downtown, the club, asking questions like, what do you guys think? Feminism or men's rights? Like, I like stuff like that because it's fun. So I want to show you guys a video real quick that I asked this girl. Can I ask another girl about the whole staying at home? I just posted just now. I was trying to post it earlier, but we was doing this. So I'll show you guys the other one I just posted. So I kind of want to hear what you guys think about her answer. Hold on, let me find it real quick. Hold up a sec. Hold up. Really, like, just posted it. So let me refresh it real quick. I basically asked her the same question about stay-at-home mom or choosing a career, and I just thought that my response to her was pretty interesting. So let me play this video and then get you guys' take on that. Give me 1 second. Hold up. It's acting very, very slow. I got so many windows open.
It better not be that picture of Nancy Pelosi, man. That's all I'm saying. It's just anything like that.
I'm like, you guys ready for a surprise? You want to see something big?
Oh, yeah, gross. Do not need that imagery.
Hold on. All right. Hey, you guys want to talk about Nancy Pelosi? Go look up Samson. He was the one that rapped about Nancy Pelosi's boobs, essentially. That was a funny rap. I like Samson. He's dope. He actually spits some real stuff. If you listen to him, like, he spits some real stuff. So just the Nancy Pelosi song was just funny. Like, but he wasn't like talking about so much motorboating her boobs. He was basically like talking about how corrupt she is. It's a funny song. You gotta go check it out. So this is the video right here I'm telling you guys about. Aside from Nancy Pelosi's boobs, this is the video I'm telling you guys about. I mean, who wouldn't knock those things up? Nothing. Hold on. Let me play it back real quick. Okay, here we go.
Which would you prefer, a career or stay-at-home mom?
Career, for sure. I'm not a stay-at-home person.
Why career?
Because I have to have my own income. I'm not going to rely on another person to, like, do things.
Okay. You know? So you're independent?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Would you want a breadwinner or a stay-at-home dad?
A breadwinner.
What?
Okay. So then, if you want a breadwinner, why would you want that if you're independent?
I want us to both make money, but I don't mind if they make more than me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
So I found that very, very interesting to me when she answered that question the way she did, because she's saying that she wants a career, right? She want to be a stay-at-home mom. I said, okay, so you're independent. She's like, yeah. Okay, so if you're independent, what do you want? A breadwinner or a stay-at-home dad? She wants a breadwinner. But why would she want that if she's independent? So it's like I noticed that women these days, not all, but a lot of women, they want a relationship, but they also want to be independent. It's like they want to be single while being a girlfriend or a wife. And I kind of noticed that in society.
The order that is supposed to be there. And they're confused because there's no strong men to lead.
Yeah, because I would argue if you're gonna be independent. Why would you be independent but then want a man to bring home the money? Yeah, she said she wants to both make their money, but it's like, so you want to be independent or do you want the man to lead? Because you can't have it, your cake and eat it too. It's got to be one or the other. What do you guys think?
It's really weird. I don't know. It's kind of tricky because I kind of understand that, especially if she has the mentality of being independent. Why not be with someone who is also independent? That way she doesn't, have to be that breadwinner, doesn't have to like provide and be like the head of household type of thing, if that's what she's trying to say, which if it sounds like she wants to actually be in a relationship, which is great. But also she's like, yeah, well, he can, go and earn income for himself, which is like, okay, but is this the type of actual like marriage that you want to have like in the future? It's not going to work later on, like if that's really what you want. But if she's just wanted to just kind of just be willy-nilly about it and not get hitched, then I don't know how long that would actually last. That's really interesting, to find somebody who is like me, and then be with somebody who's also full of themselves. I don't know how long that would last, really. Like narcissism, like it's really crazy nowadays. So it's like, I don't know if two narcissists can be with each other. Like a narcissist needs to feed on someone who depends on them. So I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, and so that's the thing too. Is like what I'm curious about, because I think that, again, I think that traditionalism has gotten so perverse where like having a conversation. I noticed that, like, when we talk about this, it looks like me as a man is bashing on females, and I'm just like, females should be doing this and this, no, they should be traditional, blah blah blah. And I would argue that I was telling this girl last night, because we was talking, and she's like, what are you doing out here? And I explained what I was doing, and she actually really appreciated the fact that I was out there. And she disagreed with like everything I said, but she liked the fact that I was out there having a conversation, because I told her, I said, if men and women knew their roles in life, where the women respected the men for, providing, and the women were nurturers and take care of their children, I think that we can get along a lot better, because, they have this ideology now with the gender pay gap. You know what I mean? They say that women are not getting paid as much as men. I would argue that that's not really the case. If there are places that are discriminating, that's illegal to do. It's illegal in America to pay somebody more than less, or to pay somebody less than more.
Because of their gender.
Right. It's illegal to do in America. So when they push these type of lies that women are not making as much as men, it's just not true, because I would argue that it's the job that women choose. Men choose to work with things, women choose to work with people. And that's usually how it goes. That's why majority of women, that's why majority of women are in like nursing and things like that, caregivers, those type of jobs, because it has to do with people. They're teachers, they're preschool teachers.
Well, not only that, but it has to do with how we're made. Like women are made to be nurturers. Like that's how we were created. Like not to say that men aren't nurturers, but that would be like our main, like what we're made of. That is what we know without even knowing. That's who we are. But yeah, you're right. I think, when it comes to,
they want to defy that. Like if you
follow that's the rebellious spirit.
Yeah, if you follow the libs of TikTok, it's like this. I saw this woman talking about how women can grow a penis.
Oh my God, I saw that too.
I saw that. I didn't do it, but I saw that. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, so Rosita,
where do we get that pill? Not that one, but the one where we can feed all these damn betas to grow some balls, because men need to grow some balls nowadays, to come and step up for the women and for other men too. Like, where's that pill at? Because I think men need to look for their balls more than grow a dick.
Because
testosterone far out.
Well, there's an excellent question. So there's this YouTube channel called It's Complicated. It's Complicated channel. If you guys ever get a chance, do check out It's Complicated channel. Shout out to It's Complicated, because he makes really great content. We'll check out one of his videos actually before the show is over. Really great stuff. But he asked this question. I can't remember exactly what he said, so I'll paraphrase. But he was essentially asking about women asking where are all the good men, right? And why can't they find these good men? Why do they chase these bad boys? But what he came to the conclusion of was essentially saying that with all these bad boys that women tend to date, what does that say about the single mother who raises them? So if single mothers are raising these boys, and women have emotions, and they pass that down to the boys, and then these boys grow up, because from what I heard, and I'm sorry I don't have the exact stats, what I heard is that a lot of these men in jail came from single parent homes, so like single mother homes. So if women are dating these type of dudes, and what does that say about the women that's raising them? Can that be a problem amongst society?
And like, the thing is that my mom is a widow, and I have a little brother that she tried her best to like raise, right? And he's okay, but he's a little bit, he's not as masculine as he would have been if my dad was around.
That's interesting.
They do like, women do try their best from what I've seen, and like they're just a little bit misguided.
Well, yeah, there's
guided more like.
I mean, as much as because I was a single mom for a couple years, And as much as I wanted to, and my son, so my youngest son now is 15. So I had to raise him kind of by myself between the age of 10 to 15. And Julius, I don't know if you remember being 10 to 15, but those are kind of like some really important years. You learn how to be respectful, you learn manners, you kind of need that example of what it's like to be a gentleman. You know what I mean? That chauvinistic character has been long gone. Like, I believe in manners. I'm sorry. You want to call that traditional? You want to call me old school? I don't give a fuck. That's actually having manners. Is being polite. Is something that is lacking right now. Why do you think the world has gone to shit? Because nobody is respectful about one another. And, I truly believe that at least in my heart, I believe that I've done what I can to do. Not to say that I wanted to replace their dad, because there's no way women can replace a dad. There's just no way. But I know, hey, honey, you know what? He has a little sister. You walk her to the door. You open the door for her. You wait until she goes in, close the door. Then you get into the car. That's what we do. You walk her. If you're going to walk on the sidewalk, you walk on the outer part. You know what I mean? Like, there's just little things that I obviously, being with my husband, it's like, oh, yeah, we don't, okay, you walk over here, I walk over there, open my door, like, it's called communication. And it's called relating this, because it's about having that character that it's lacking. And you could tell without even like knowing somebody, like, ooh, I don't think they had a dad in their life, which is not a good thing. But also, moms, and I would hope that they would do whatever they can, because they would want something better for their own kids. I know I do, for sure. So I try as much as I can to communicate that, but also to be an example of it. Like, just because their dad wasn't there doesn't mean I'm not going to tell them, like, hey, this is how you treat a woman, like, hey, honey, you know what? I was arguing today. I'm sorry you heard that, But when it comes to actually being with someone, with a man, these should be, there should be expectations of one another, just period. Like, a man needs to do his own stuff, and a woman needs to kind of,
I got a question about that too. But real quick, I want to get to the comments real quick. So somebody said, this is coming from Grace. She said, I have a sister-in-law that complains so bad after having all her kids because of being on maternity leave for 6 weeks. She said, you have 4 kids. You can just watch them for me. I'm not going to stay at home. That's a red flag for sure.
Oh.
You don't want that in your life. And then Flea Market says, you guys see the KFC commercial for the chicken pot pie? Man's eating pie, wife and son walk in, and the wife asks, did you do the laundry? Then throw dirty underwear at his face.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, real quick, my dad was telling me about this. He was saying that he noticed that in commercials now, all the men are dumb, they're incompetent. He does not like it at all. Like, my dad's like super Democrat, but he knows when men are being
what?
like, yeah.
Wow. Well, thank God that he's noticing stuff like that, because literally it's in your face. So thank God he's able to realize that.
My dad's a smart dude. It's just that he has a way. I mean, I would argue both my parents are Democrats, which is fine. It is what it is. I think my mom might switch. I don't know. But all I know is that my dad sees it. Like, he sees the woke garbage that's going on, especially with commercials nowadays. He always tells me too. He goes, I see these commercials, man, and like all the dads are just stupid.
The subliminal messages are all there.
Like, they're falling over, and I'm just like, I don't like that. My dad knows what a real man looks like.
Yeah, no. Roman mentioned the other day, he's like, I saw this commercial, and I think you should see it. And I was like, okay, this woman is about to get married. Okay, she's about to walk into the altar, and one of her bridesmaids, instead of walking into, because the bridesmaids go before the bride, she comes back real quick. She's like, you could always change your mind. And she's talking about Amazon and talking about returning an Amazon package. And I'm like, at a wedding? Like, are you kidding me right now? And I noticed the even more details. The bride isn't wearing white. She's wearing like an ivory, meaning it's not her first marriage. So I'm noticing these little things, and she's telling her she could change her mind. And I'm like, oh, hell no. That's what I'm talking about right now. They're so subliminal. Yes. And I'm wow.
Let me ask you guys this. And then I'll start reversing that, and then Jules. Let me ask you guys this. When a woman gets married, right, and she decides to have kids, do you think that it's still okay for a woman to work, or do you think she should be a stay-at-home mom? and the husband works? Like, should we keep it traditional where husband works, mom stays at home, or are you guys okay with the woman still working though they have kids? And Rosita, we'll start with you.
I mean, like if I were in that position, I'd want to be a stay-at-home mom. But like that's just in theory. Would it work in practicality? Especially like with prices of everything going up.
Inflation's a bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually said that, for example, you have some women who say that they won't care if their man doesn't make much money, as long as they're making money, whatever. But there was a Forbes article from 2019, maybe before that, 2020, something like that. But basically said that like women who make more money than their husbands are 40% more likely to file for divorce.
Dang, that's a high number.
Yeah.
And did it actually talk about like the percentage and how much more money they'd be making in order for that percentage to happen, like the divorce? Like that's crazy.
I forget, but it is in
like
the article.
Drastically.
I wouldn't say it's drastic. I mean, I would just, so I was actually I had a conversation with somebody on Discord, and I told them that I wouldn't date a woman that makes more than me, and they said why. I was like, well, in my opinion, I think that women who tend to make more money, it comes with a lot of attitude. I mean, you heard Biggie Smalls say it, more money, more problems. I mean, you know what I mean? Like Puff, that was the song, more money, more problems. So I would think that women who makes more money, this is my opinion, that if she makes more money, it's going to come with a lot more attitude because she's making more. And usually when you make a lot of money, it changes you. So if she gets with a man, and let's say I'm making 80,000 a year and she's making 150,000 a year, do I gotta step my game up? Sure, absolutely. But meanwhile, as I'm doing that to progress to make more money, I'm dealing with what comes along with her being that boss babe. So why put myself in a position where she could have the boss babe attitude, but here I am trying to make more money, but she's the breadwinner. She's bringing home, the bacon. And I'm like trying to do my best. I'm the guy who has to kiss the cook apron, trying to make dinner. Like the roles just seem so switched that it wouldn't
your
feel
apron with the kiss the cook apron. That's okay.
Do most people not have that though?
Do you know how to cook? Do you know how to cook, Julius? Like just.
I mean, I can microwave a Kraft and cheese.
You can microwave. You don't microwave a Kraft and cheese. Oh my god!
No.
Did I just hear that?
Honestly,
I'm getting a brain. No.
I make really good tacos. I can tell you that I make really good tacos. So I'm pretty good at tacos, burgers, spaghetti.
So when it comes to the woman making more than the man, obviously you kind of already have to know that information prior to getting into and committing into a relationship. So I would say if you already know that information and you're willing to commit and jump into that relationship, I say, strap on. Like, why not have her, take care of you for a little while? I'm not saying, and you shouldn't be in a relationship to be in competition either. Like you said something like, well, I'm going to have to, step up the game. And it's like, well, no, not really. Because if she's obviously with you, she accepts you for you making less money, and hopefully she's not full of crap, because it's a bad thing to have. God's word says the greed of money is the root of all evil. It's not having money, it's the root of all evil. It's greed, being in love with money. Obviously, if she loves money, she's not going to have time to love anybody else, because she loves money. Like, but anyways, that's my take on that.
That's a good take.
Give me one. Hold on. Give me 1 second. This is so weird.
Dead silence.
I know. I'm like, is it gonna come on again? No, it's like in the theaters when you're like, after like the second time it rings, you're just like, can you just like step out or something? Like, like, do I say something? Do I not say something? Oh, I was at the theaters watching the Left Behind movie. It's a faith-based movie. It's a faith-based movie, so you kind of go in there knowing there's going to be other people of faith, right? And obviously there's this person who didn't turn off their phone, and I'm like, do I say something? Do I say something nicely? Do I turn around and give them the look? Like, do I not say anything? And like, nobody said anything after like the third time it rang. And I'm like, okay, if it rings one more time, seriously, I'm going to say something. And I was over at the front where everybody could have seen me, but it didn't ring again. So thank God. Oh no, what happened?
I think he's super froze or something, and now he's gonna.
Shoot. But at least, wait, are we still on?
Yeah,
that's insane. Ooh, so we should take over. Age of woman. That's right, baby. W-O, W-O.
I love that. That's hilarious.
Oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble. It's okay.
Age of women.
Yeah.
Julius has gone out.
Sorry, Nick and Julius. Hey, Julius kind of sounds the same, you know. Yeah. I'm not black, but I'm kind of tan, nice caramel color. I mean, but anyways, yeah, I mean, like, it's so interesting, everything that he's bringing up. It's like nobody really wants to tap or even talk about it. Like, I really wish that there was a lot more people, especially in the church. Like, nobody wants to talk about all this stuff, and nobody, like, I haven't heard anything in regards to, oh, this is what it's like to actually be a man, this is what it's like to be a woman, or, oh, you guys are dating, this is what it looks like. Okay, you guys want to get married, let's talk about this now, you know. And it takes intentionality to actually look into that kind of stuff. Oh, and I wanted to say this too earlier when I said, like, when he said nobody has time for that. It's true. I mean, all our time, it has to go somewhere, right? But I also believe that there has to be that intentionality when it comes to how bad do you want it. Like, how's your life? How's it been going with everything you've been doing lately? Like, how's that going for you? Because if it's not going well, then you should probably do something different. Like, the definition of insanity, obviously, is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. It's not going to happen unless you intentionally go out of your way, go out of, you know, just a little bit to the left or a little bit to the, obviously not that left. Don't go there. The other left, the right. You know, and start asking questions. Just, I don't know how great Google is anymore, or even DuckDuckGo.
Oh,
I'm hearing DuckDuckGo is not good at either. I don't know. The thing is, like, people need to start communicating. Like, legit, pick up your phone, not to scroll, but to actually make a fucking phone call. Is that really gonna hurt your feelings to fucking make a phone call? I was telling Julius when he called me, I was like, oh, like, it actually felt good to have a missed call from you. Like, yeah, I didn't pick up because I wasn't available, but I would have gladly picked it up, you know. And I called him back, and I'm like, this is good. Like, we need to have more of this, you know. He had left me a voicemail. He has sent me a voice memo because I got married. Oh shoot, it's gonna be 3 weeks. I got married 3 weeks ago, and he sent me this thing. He sent me this really nice, you know, congratulations, like, voice message, and I was just like, oh, like, that means so much. You have no idea, because who the fuck makes a phone call nowadays, let alone leave a fucking message? Like, people, we're human still. Like, we obviously we yearn for that. We obviously need to have that relationship that obviously, you know, we're lacking in so many ways. And if we continue to accept that, that's bullshit. We need to be better. We need to be better than the left. We need to be better than these idiots, you know, Antifa and Beta people. Like, we just have to be better. And it's just one step at a time. It's one day at a time. I don't know if you've been to 12-step, but literally their motto is like one day at a time. And literally that's all it takes, like 1 hour at a time. If, you know, if I'm up to here, I'm like, you know what? Last hour, I was good. Okay, just, can you at least give me credit for that, for the last hour? Like, can you, you know? So,
I have a question. I know that this might, like, feel like it's coming out of nowhere, but on Twitter, I did a poll, and I asked, what is the root of all evil? And I put 4 options. You can answer this as well as the audience. So, first one, man playing God. Second one, 7 deadly sins. Third one, religion, because I wanted to be fair. I wanted to be open to all ideas. And then I posted, like, I had an option where it said comment other. if it was none of these. So which one do you think is the root of all evil?
Dang.
And
So
guys, what do you think as well? Like
yeah, that's really good. Well, knowing what I know, and I've seen it for myself. I don't think you mentioned it, but I had said before, like pride really does have to do with everything that has to do with evil. Being so full of yourself that you think you're better than everybody, even God himself. Obviously, that has to do with, you know, wanting to play God. That has to do with saying that your religion is better than everybody else's. Or, you know, what else did you say? It was just, it's just having that mentality.
Yeah, so man playing God, 7 deadly sins, religion, or other.
Yeah, the 7 deadly sins is good too. Well, actually, pride is one of the 7 deadly sins, which is interesting. So there you go. That's like pride just pretty much is all over the place. You just can't get away from it unless you willingly choose to. It's hard work. Like everything that's good, it's hard work, you know. And I don't want to say that nothing good is free. It's just, you know, I believe that having good things in your life obviously is going to cost you something. I'm not saying you should pay you should pay for anything good, but also, man, yeah, all I know is that all of that is not good. Like, is there like a D where it's like all of the above? Because every little thing, every little chance.
Like, the fourth tweet, like the fourth option that I had is comment other. So
okay.
I can say
above. Yeah, if we give, okay, so God's word says, obviously God's word does say, you know, greed of money, the love of money is a root of evil, which is very interesting because, I mean, obviously he was talking about us because I don't think that heaven has money. Not that they're not, you know, obviously it talks about, you know, the streets paved of gold and all the stuff. But in everything, if you give the devil a foothold, like if you even allow any little evil to come into your life, whatever it looks like, whether it be in money, whether it be at work, whether it be putting like finding a relationship, or like you know, the way you look, or you know, being an influencer, you know, nowadays that's like the big thing, you know, being number one or having good music. Like if you replace anything that takes place of God in your life, that in itself is the root of all evil, because God is supposed to be at the center of your life. You know,
man playing God is what you'd say.
The what?
So it sounds more like you're saying the root of all evil is man playing God.
Although, no, not necessarily. Just when we feel the void in our hearts, like we all have this yearning, and it looks so differently in everybody. That's why you see addicts, you know, either they're alcoholics or drug addicts or sex addicts, you name it, fill in the blank, addicts, because they're trying to fulfill that hole in their life, that hole in their being, that it's just like, I'm yearning for something. Let me try this. And they'll be addicted to that. Or, you know, they'll just work and they'll be addicted to work. Or, you know what, I'm just going to make more money, and they're addicted to money. Anything that takes the place of God in your life, it's exactly what is evil. And to me, it's like we can't allow that kind of mentality to happen. We need to make sure that we give God the glory, and we give, you know, our space, our little void, because we all have that void in our hearts, where I know that I try to look for it, you know, in relationships, in love. And oh my God, there's only one love, and I'm going to fall in love. Like I try to do that, and I didn't get that feel until I actually found God's real true love. And at least that's, to me, not giving that foothold to anything, because anything can take place and be turned into evil. It's just that extreme that I was talking about earlier.
Yep.
So yeah, what's going on with Julius? Now I'm like, oh, what's going on? I should probably call him.
Yeah.
Let's see what he says. I'm surprised this is like, it's not being cut off, but it says 1:44. Let me see if I can call him.
What do you guys the audience, what do you think is the root of all evil?
Let me see if I can get a hold of them.
So as you're doing that, I'll try to keep them engaged in that question.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. How are you able to see? Oh, you can see comments. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, cool. I didn't know I could see comments. Sorry, guys. I'm so new at this. I'm like, oh, wait.
Hello?
I see you, Julius. Hey, there you are. I was just calling you. Okay. I'm like, we're just going to take over. W-O.
That took way too long. It became
It became the age of woman. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. It went from age of men to age of woman.
Sorry, Nick. You can't even be here to even like try to defend yourself.
Man, that was crazy. Because somebody called me, and anytime somebody calls me, it like stops everything. My goodness. I mean, my friend didn't know. It's all good. So it's all good.
Although, I have to get going soon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No.
It's okay.
If you want, you gotta dip out right now. That's totally fine. If you want to dip out.
I just looked at the time and it's 3, and I have to go and get a few things done. I didn't expect it to stay this long.
Wait, where are you from? You said it's 3?
Yeah, I live in Australia.
She's in a whole different country.
Dude, no way. I have a friend that lives over there in Australia. He just had a baby.
Did you hear? Did she tell you about how tyrannical people like the politicians got over here?
Oh.
Crazy. I feel like
career or stay at home mom?
Hang on.
Career for sure. I'm not a stay at home.
Sorry, it's there's a little noise there. Sorry about that. Yeah. So Rosita's from Australia. And
nice.
She joins in. So
where do you live?
Oh, I just live Southern California. Oh, okay. Julius is Northern California. I'm Southern.
I'm coming this year. I'm
going to
try to come.
Whoa. Hey.
Really? You have
Hello.
I just like the thing is that I just had like a horrific car accident like a week ago. But yeah, like
real quick before you go, what happened with that car accident? Like were you texting and driving? Were you like singing? And you're like,
no, it's all car karaoke and shit.
I was just like going to an appointment, but honestly, like the woman was at fault. So she was parked and she was trying to do a U-turn. She didn't wait for me to pass. Like it was one of those roads where you're just driving forward. She didn't wait for me to pass, and my car crashed into her, and it was so horrifying. I still have like nightmares over it. I had a nightmare over it last night. It was horrible. I couldn't sleep.
That's crazy. I'm glad you're all right. I'm glad you're.
Yeah, thank God you're. I wouldn't have known. Like, oh my gosh, that's good.
Yeah, like I'm so like I truly believe that it was like, because like I have the cross in my car.
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure. I was just gonna say I felt his protection obviously over you. I feel that in my car too. Like I've been able to get out of some crazy maneuvers in traffic over here.
In a way, it is like a bit of a blessing because like the car was kind of getting in the way of other things.
What? No way.
Yeah, so like I don't want to get into too much of my
I think I know what you're saying though, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a blessing in disguise kind of a thing.
Yeah, no, I know. Go ahead.
Good to meet you.
We'll get you on some other time. We'll figure it all out, and then we'll.
Follow me.
Yeah, we gotta do a part 2 on the age of woman.
It was great meeting you, though. It was great chatting.
Great meeting you too.
You're lovely.
All right, take care. All right.
Thank you.
All right, and then Jules.
What up?
So before you go, I wanted, cause we got like a good solid 12 minutes until the show's over. So I wanted to kind of show that video I was telling you about,
yeah.
that I posted. So she actually has like multiple videos like that. So I'll show you the one that I played earlier, and then we'll kind of talk about that, and we can end the show that way, and then you can tell all the folks to follow you and things like that. So let me pull up that video. Man, that took so long to get back on.
That's crazy,
like,
right? It's just a phone call. You should be able to just click in and click out.
Well, it's because anytime my phone's off, what I'll do is I'm sorry, not my phone's off. When I don't have any Wi-Fi, like when the bill's not paid and I don't have any Wi-Fi, I'll connect to my phone's hotspot to use as the internet.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
So this is a great segue to, hey, people, don't be shysty, okay? The homie over here he needs to eat. Look at him, how skinny he is. Come on now. Ladies, feed the homie over here.
According to Lizzo's fans, I'm fat. So
according to her fans, wait, what kind of fat? PHAT or like
no, yeah. So back in December,
Lizzo.
Was it December? Yeah, it was December. I posted something. Maybe it was December. I don't remember when it was. But I posted. So somebody posted a picture of Lizzo, and she was on TikTok. And
was that when she was doing her flute thing? Ugh.
I don't know, but she was in the bikini, and she basically said she was like,
if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah, I know. She was basically saying like, eat the food, love your curves, like that whole body positivity thing, right? So I took that picture and I posted it with the healthline.com saying that obesity is an epidemic in America.
I remember that. Yes.
And so I tagged her, and then she saw it immediately. And then she responded back, and I'm trying to make fun of like my dark spots under my neck, trying to say it's all due to diabetes. And everybody, she got ratios so bad. There was like, there's a 5 o'clock shadow. Like everybody was basically defending me, but you had her fans were like, oh, well, he's not so skinny himself because I smile like this and I got really big cheeks. So they zoomed in on my face and was like, oh, he looks fat himself. I'm like, I mean, I don't feel fat. I mean, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't.
I mean, you're always layering, like. Yeah.
No, but yeah, no, but I mean. I go to the gym. Like I got a gym up the street from my house that's free. It's a free gym. I go there.
And I know you're always walking downtown. Like you tell me all the time. Like you.
Yeah. I walk.
You walk for how many miles? Like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to like keep saying this over and over, but I walk an hour and a half from my house to downtown, and then I gotta walk an hour and a half back. And that's Friday and Saturday night. So that's like 6 hours a week that I'm walking back and forth.
That's good cardio right there. Yeah.
So I mean.
Yeah, I don't know a fat person that'd be able to keep that up. Like I can't even.
Maybe some can. Maybe the first 5 steps. I don't
know. We need to do a walkathon for Julius. I know. He needs to pay his damn Wi-Fi bill.
Yeah. So I mean, but I don't think most people realize that though. Like not that it's for them to like know, but it's that I do these things so I can give content to you guys. So I'll sacrifice hurting my feet, like I come home and have like these slave feet. I'm like, oh my god.
See, this is what I was telling Rosita earlier. I'm like, look, we need to really be out there because we need to tell people whatever good news you have. You have information that I don't have, and I appreciate your information because I'm like, oh crap, like your information is probably one of the ones that I'm like, okay, what's going on? I know who to go to. Anomaly.
You know, funny?
Same thing. Like he's got the 411 and stuff that I don't have time to look that up, but look at him doing this maybe sometimes twice a day, and I'm like, this guy, what? Yeah, I'm gonna log in to watch what he has to say because he knows and he does the research and like it's not bullshit. Like it's facts.
I mean, that's what's cool is that like, and that's something I try to humble myself on too, is that I appreciate people who say things like, I go to your page to look for like the news essentially. And it's like, I don't even keep up with everything. I just post what's essential, if you will. Like, I just try to look up things that I see. I go, oh, that's crazy. Let me talk about that. Or if I find something like unique that I saw, I'll talk about that. Like, for example, a lot of people were talking about the Tyree Nichols, right? The whole, him getting beat by the officers. And then what I did was, rather than talk about it and bring the video up as well, I ended up talking, we lost her. Oh, no, we lost her. Oh, no. Dang. That's, hopefully she comes back. Oh, man, we lost her. It's all good. I'll give it a few more minutes and then see if she comes back. If not, Well, I'll discuss one more thing and then we'll get out of here. We got like 6 minutes until the show ends. So appreciate you guys for staying with me for this long. I appreciate that. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you guys for always tuning in. Hope we can get her back. Jules, come back if you can. If you can hear me, come back. Hopefully your phone didn't die or something weird like that. Let me look on Instagram and see if maybe she like something happened. Let me try to see if we can get her back. So give me 1 second, guys. I apologize about that. I'm sorry the last quarter of the show went a little bit haywire there. But let me try to see. Oh, she said her phone died. Oh, I knew it. I'm going to say it's all good. Let me thank you for coming on. Appreciate you for coming on the show. Okay, no worries. All right, so I guess her phone died. So, well, this is what I'll do right now. I'll end the show a little bit early. Her phone died. I'm gonna try to talk about one more thing and share some content with her, but it's all good. No worry. Listen, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. This has been a great show. I'm sorry the last quarter just went haywire. Someone called me and just screwed everything up. Not their fault. They didn't know, but it is what it is. It happened. So I appreciate you guys. So if you guys did like the show, do hit that like button. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Leave a comment below what you guys think about what we talked about and things like that. Leave all the comments below. If you want to support this channel and support the podcast as well, all the links are down below to support us. That way we can give you guys a lot more content and hopefully use whatever we get with donation, whatever the case may be. Hopefully, we'll use that money in order to build a better, studio, have more, maybe some green screen, some cool stuff behind us. All that kind of stuff will be invested into the show to give you guys better quality and all that good stuff. So we appreciate you guys. So somebody said streaming in Discord. For sure. Well, hey, again, appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. And again, every Friday, Saturday night, do look out for me. I'm always out in downtown asking questions on modern day. Maybe, on the next show, the podcast, we'll look at all the videos that I did to ask these questions and talk about it and things like that. Wherever it pops up at that time, we will talk about. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. God bless you guys. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. I always adapt that from the homie Anomaly. Shout out to him. And then for Nick, he was not able to be here on the show because he was not feeling so well. So do wish him well. Keep him in your thoughts. Keep him in your prayers. And hopefully he gets better real soon because we got to bring Nick back, man. It's not an Age of Men podcast if we don't have the main man himself, C3 Nick. Got to get him back on here. So follow him on Instagram, C3 Nick. DM him. Show him your love. Let him know you want him to get better. Nick, get better, man. I hope you get better, man. Eat that soup. Get some rest and all that good stuff. Drink lots of water. All that good stuff, man. And Godspeed, praying for you. So appreciate you guys. God bless. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. Have a good one.